Despite having offers from top Power 5 programs, Quinnipiac's Amari Monroe decided to stay in the MAC conference to prioritize genuine relationships over NIL money. What's your pitch to an NFL team? Why should they draft you? It's 4 days, 72 teams, and one road to the National Prep Championship. You broke the record for the most points scored by a first year since Quinnipiac became Division I. What does that accomplishment mean to you? Gundy coached the Cowboys to a 3-9 season in 2024, and all 9 losses came in Big 12 play. This firing comes after Oklahoma State fell to Tulsa at home for the first time since 1951. Now, you came to Oklahoma State from George Fox, a Division III school where you played baseball and football. What would freshman year you say if he knew you'd be at Pro Day for the Big 12 today? The Quinnipiac Bobcats fell 72-63 against in-state rival Fairfield on the road on Thursday. One bright spot for the Bobcats was first-year guard Gal Revive, who scored 21 points. I got to see a little bit of it today, but you're great from behind the arc. What goes into that consistency game in and game out for you? A personnel group is identified by the number of running backs and tight ends on the field at once. I like to remember this as R comes before T in the alphabet, so the number of running backs comes before the number of tight ends in your offensive personnel sets. There were a lot of people that counted this team out at the beginning of the season. How were you able to shift gears and refocus? It's the second annual conference-wide Pro Day for the Big 12 in Frisco, Texas, featuring over 200 players hoping to see their NFL dreams come true, and among them are 19 Oklahoma State Cowboys. There must be 7 players lined up on the line of scrimmage with a part of their body equal to the waist of the center when he's in his stance. Nick, you were sidelined with injury halfway through the season. How does it feel to be back out on the field? Let's move off the ice and over to the pitch. Women's soccer has yet to get scored on in MAC play, and the last time they conceded a goal was August 29th. Will the team have a drop-off at any point this year? Stokinger, what do you think? What does this offseason look like for you prepping for this moment? Each set is identified by 2 numbers, the first digit being your number of defensive linemen and the second being your number of linebackers. Of course, there are 11 players on defense, so the remainder of those will be your defensive backs. And while Coach Fabry described today as a historic game for Grisdale, she says Grisdale doesn't focus on those individual stats and instead just doing what she can for this team. I'm here with Coach Pope from Sunrise Christian Academy. Coach, you're down 3 after the first half. What adjustments will you make going into the second half? On Saturday, the Quinnipiac women's basketball team celebrated National Girls and Women in Sports Day as they look to recreate moments like the Sweet 16 celebration. It's days like today that allow the Bobcats to take a step back and look at their impact off the court. The Quinnipiac Bobcats fell 72-63 against in-state rival Fairfield on the road on Thursday. One bright spot for the Bobcats was first-year guard Gal Revive, who scored 21 points. Revive shot 59% from the field and added 6 assists and 6 rebounds. Quinnipiac head coach Trisha Fabry commended Revive for her efforts on the court.
Yeah, I thought she was a one-woman wrecking crew out there. She's fun to watch. If we could get a couple other people out there making some shots and Foley stays on the floor, which we'll have the opportunity again going, when we see him a second time and maybe if we see him a third time down in March. So she's a talent. She wants to win, and she was great out there tonight.
Fairfield head coach Carly Thibault-Dudanis also spoke on Revive's dominant performance.
She's a great player. I mean, she's going to be a problem for a lot of years. I think that she's special because she can clearly create her own shot in difficult ways, which I know these guys would both say that they had opportunities in that where she's able to step back. If you close the space, she's able to go back by you. She's very crafty with the ball. But the hard part is that she's a great passer. It's what Izo was talking about here as a scoring point guard, that if you do bring help, she's a very good passer in finding teammates. So that was something that we kind of rotated. Cy had moments, Katie had moments, Beach had moments. We kind of shifted who was on her at different times. And we'd like to think, and we'd like to think that we can continue to wear on you with different fresh bodies, but she's a great player.
Revive and the Bobcats will have a quick turnaround as they host Siena at 2 p.m. on Saturday. For Q30 Sports, I'm Toni Wetmore. The Bobcats are now 8-1 after finishing up their non-conference season at the University of Vermont, winning 68-63. Head coach Trisha Fabry saw tremendous growth from her team in today's game that stemmed from day 1 of non-conference play.
You schedule these games, and getting on the road, especially against Maine and Vermont, they've got a great atmosphere, hard place to play, harder place to win. But the last 2 minutes, because of the experience of the season, the timeouts were really organized, really sticking together, and understanding exactly what had to happen with the situation that was right in front of us.
The Bobcats had a slow start as Vermont outscored them 17-11 after the first quarter. Quinnipiac regained momentum in the second quarter and went into halftime with a 37-31 lead. The Catamounts were able to battle back within 2 in the fourth quarter, but the Bobcats were able to close out the game with the win. First-year guard Gal Revive said the Bobcats' overtime loss against Miami earlier this season gave them the experience to keep their lead in crunch time.
Because since the Miami game, we worked on it in practice and we knew exactly what to do. And I think we have more experience, definitely.
The Bobcats will start MAC conference play at home on Thursday against Ryder at 11 a.m. For Q30 Sports, I'm Toni Wetmore.